Hi, second years. So one of you asked me how you would go about making a developable surface. The question you asked was, how would you get the panels from a cushion, the fabric panels? So before I start, I'm just going to go into my 3 viewport arrangement because I find that easier. And then I'm going to show you the basics, and then I'll show you a slightly more complicated way. So I'm going to select this box button just to give us the easiest possible starting point. I'm going to start it from the center, which is at 0. And then I'm going to make it about, I think it's 250 because it's 500 I want. 250. So this multiplies by 2 because we're starting from the center by, and the other one was going to be 350, I think. So let's say 180. Okay, so here I have the basics of it, and then it's going to go up by about 120, I think, should do it. All right, so if that's not the scale that you're looking at, well, you can make it any size you want. But let's say that's the cushion in a very stylized version, obviously. So you've got to treat this as if it was a set of stylized surfaces. You can't get all those wrinkles in there. That's not how it works. So here's the box. I'm going to go across to the surface tools. I'm going to drag this out so it's easier to see what I'm doing. And then this button here, this command, unroll developable surface, if you click on it, obviously I've selected this already. I need to right click or hit enter, and it'll show me the surfaces. So let's just turn that around. All right, so these 1, 2, 3, 4, those represent the side panels, and then obviously those represent the top and the bottom. But this isn't all that satisfactory because these are not linked, so I'd have to combine them. But if you wanted to do it that way, it would be fine. So let's show you a slightly more sophisticated way of doing things. Let's go back into the top view, and I'm going to use this command here. I'm going to create a sketch with a rounded rectangle. Okay. Once again, I'm going to start from the center, type in 0, enter. 250 because that'll give me 500, comma 180 will give me roughly what I want. And then once I've got that in place and I click, you'll see I can now drag to get the corners. So I can eyeball the corners, or I can actually type them in. So I'm going to make about 16. There we go. Okay. So that's kind of the base, which I could extrude. But if I extrude this at the moment and I do that developable surface trick, I'll get 1, 2, 3, I'll get 8 different surfaces because it'll cut them up. So what I need is a continuous curve going all the way around. And the way to do that is to use this sketch as a basis. So I'm going to lock it. Here's the lock button over here. That's hide, sorry, lock button. So it's locked. Now I can't do anything with it, but I can snap to it. So let's maximize the top view. And then I'm going to select the control point curve. And I'm going to start at the midpoint because that's going to be where my seam is. So I'm going to simply select these points that belong to that underlying curve. So I want that corner one because I need 3 points for any curve. So there's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to the middle again and then go to the end. And here I'm going to make sure that my smart tracker is on. If you drag your mouse over a point and you drag it up, you'll get the intersection. Mid. So there we go, mid. All right, so let's see if I can speed this up a little bit. And then I'm going to close the curve by just clicking on the starting point. So now I have a closed curve. It's a single closed curve. You can see that those corners don't quite match what you've done in the original sketch. If you wanted to widen that out a little bit, you could. sorry, not like that. I'd have to do this one by one. Something like this. Okay, I'm not going to do that for you. I'm just showing you the principle. You can sort that out yourselves. And if I now go to the perspective view, give us the perspective view. There we go. All right, and I extrude this. So let's extrude this up by, what was it, 120, I think. Might be a bit much. Let's just take that down, minus 30, see if that's right. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so here's my cushion. These are the sides, and if I now cap this, I'm going to go to under 3D. That would say 3D on yours, not have the little symbol. And you select cap planar holes. So that's a representation of your cushion. If I now select this, go to this command here, unroll developable surface, and say yes. Let's drag this out of the way. You'll see that I now have a continuous strip, and that would represent, I'm guessing, how your seamster or seamstress would sew this up. You can now dimension these. You can put them into a drawing. You can do whatever you want with them. So let's just delete that. So the way I would do this, I would group these. So obviously you can just replicate those two. And if you need to increase the size of it, let's say, obviously you need extra material to use to sew, you can hold the shift button down, click on one of these scale buttons, and then enter the amount that you want to scale it by. So 1.05 means scale it by 5%, and that's what I get. All right. You could do this, like say on this one, you didn't want it to go all the way around, just on one side. You would do it over, you wouldn't select the shift button. You would just do it like that, and that would increase it. And then to dimension it, so let's go back to the top view, because that's where everything is flattened out. To dimension it, go to drafting, and you select this one here, linear dimension, and then select the ends. Okay, and so that dimension is quite small, but you see that's basically 500. And then if I need to show you more, I will in class, but hopefully that gives you an idea of how to start this. Thanks for watching.